You today we got the 20 most dangerous injuries in the NFL. Go online, comment, subscribe, grinders, Tager, Jewel, Mill. Let's get it.
Are the 20 most dangerous injuries in NFL history.
Oh no, that does not look good, Jim.
And at number 20, John Ryan showed why punters need to stick to their day job, because he got knocked out cold.
Bro, why would you ever do that as a punter? Like, you get paid millions, bro. All you gotta do is kick the ball. Don't do too much. Oh, damn. I can't help but laugh, but come on, bro. What are you doing?
And he goes down.
God damn. I'll be okay, though. Oh, my God.
At some speed till he got folded. He wasn't as bent as Russell Wilson.
Damn.
See, Russ was throwing a pass and showed us why playing against Aaron Donald is dangerous.
Oh, with a middle finger, Wilson looks to be disjointed.
Now that was crooked. But imagine if that happened to your head. Because Joe Flacco thought he was making a safe slide when he was almost decapitated.
He's gonna have to...
Oh, dang, my boy.
Helmet's off. Pins his head.
Bro went
He
he gave the Texas sign.
Dude almost lost his mind. But Joe Burrow took danger to the next level. See, Burrow tried to stand tall in the pocket until his knee crumbled.
Bad news for Cincinnati fans. Oh, Joe Burrow. It looked like his left leg. Oh, no.
Oh, that had to be the loudest crack ever. But Marquise
Oh, my God.
Goodwin was straight up vibrating at number 16. Because Blake Countess tried to commit murder.
19 in this half. Oh my goodness!
Whoa.
Goodwin just
Damn.
got unloaded upon
Damn.
by Blake Countess.
Yeah, it almost got deadly out there, but it wasn't as horrifying as number 15. See, Dak Prescott's injury was downright twisted, because his defender's illegal
Bro, he,
tackle
like, broke his ankle. Dude, that shit look nasty.
with his ankle going in 5 different directions.
Breaks the tackle.
Oh my. Like, oh my God. Why would you lift that up, though, bro? Ooh.
He's up a total of 9
Oh
more.
no, oh no.
That was catastrophic. But
I remember when I didn't see a clip. Well, yeah, I did. I seen a clip like that not in high school, but like a little
some players
kid,
are just
bro.
their own worst
Ooh.
enemies, like our 14th moment. Because Gus
Same thing,
Frerotte
he
ran a
lifted it up,
touchdown and
and
was
that whole
so
shit was
excited
broke.
that he crushed his head against the
like,
wall.
Bang! Hits his head right into the cushion.
You know, just figuring one of those things, you're just going to bounce right off the wall and come
How would
back
you do that?
and celebrate, and
he-
it didn't happen that way, and got a little
fractured
shocked, a little
vertebrae.
stunned.
Yeah, that was mindless. But Johnny
Oh, no.
Knox's injury will
That
send a
was
chill up your spine. Because at number 13, Knox tried to make up for his fumble until he got bent backwards.
Ball is loose. And Johnny is down. Anthony Hargrove, number 94.
Oh my
Lands
God.
head on with Knox.
Dude broke his back and ended his career right there.
He broke his back.
That was something Tom Brady was lucky
Damn.
to escape. But his injury happened in what could have been his best season
Dude,
ever.
that's
See, heading into the
crazy. He
2008
broke his fucking
season,
back.
the Patriots
Oh
tried to
my
cement themselves as the
God.
greatest team ever assembled.
Damn.
But all of those dreams came crashing down. Because in the
On
previous
one
season,
play.
New England had a perfect record until Super Bowl 42 when they had their hearts broken. So when they returned with their same weapons as Wes Welker and Randy Moss in 2008,
No, the Patriots were.
you
OP.
already know Tom Brady was out for his revenge. But in the first game of the season, Tom suffered the worst injury of his career.
Brady
Which one?
with time.
Oh.
Hit
I
as he
remember
broke,
that, like,
and Tom
That's why I
Brady
started
got
running
hit
that-
right on the
that
knee.
knee.
He got hit right on the knee. Tom
Dang.
Brady took a tremendous hit as he released that ball.
My man
that's
had his
why he
season
started
ended with a torn ACL and stopped maybe his greatest roster he ever had.
Oof.
But the greatest NFL quarterbacks have to learn the hard way. See, Patrick Mahomes' knee injury was so gruesome, it got him banned from one key NFL play for life. It all
No
went
way.
down on 4th and 1. The Chiefs called a routine QB sneak,
bad, bro.
just trying to get a first down. But what seemed like a harmless play
sorry,
really ended
I'm
Patrick
sorry.
Mahomes' career. See, when the bodies were removed, Patrick's kneecap was not there where he left it. So the team trainers reacted like their lives
in the back.
depended on it.
And it's like they almost popped that right knee back in place.
Now look, the Chiefs couldn't just keep treating their Super Bowl MVP like any other guy. So he hasn't ran a QB sneak ever since.
I believe in the quarterback sneak, but just
Yeah, back
sometimes
on.
you gotta watch out for your kneecaps. I'm like 95% and one kneecap short of being 100%.
I think it makes a ton of sense that you don't do quarterback sneaks.
I remember being on the ground and my kneecap was in the side of my calf. And the worst part was the reaction from every teammate I have. You know, guys usually kind of boost you up. I had dudes running 50 yards away from me, just running down to the other side of the field. My center's yelling, "Get off me."
Get off me.
Get off me! I'm like, I can't move. What do you want me to do? My kneecap is in the back of my leg.
Yeah, the Chiefs are risking another ring over 1 yard. But the Redskins couldn't have cared less about RG3's knees, because Robert Griffin III was supposed to be the future face of the NFL, until his coaches pushed him past his breaking point. See, in 2012, Washington drafted Robert Griffin III with the second overall pick, and this dude immediately set the league on fire. I'm talking about Offensive Rookie of the Year and leading the Redskins to the playoffs. He was really looking like the next big thing, but the Redskins should have pulled the plug on his season early, because in Week 14, Griffin felt pain. See, RG3 suffered an LCL sprain in his knee, but the playoffs were right around the corner, and Washington was desperate for a Super Bowl. They didn't care if they had to sacrifice their franchise QB to get it.
Even without getting touched.
I loved RG3.
He got hurt on this play.
Now, Robert was already looking like he was on his last leg, but it was about to turn even worse, because the Redskins thought Robert could still carry them to a victory, so they kept him on the field. And
like,
in the fourth
had he not got injured, bro, he would have been.
Quarter,
He would have been a goat.
we witnessed one of the greatest NFL rookies ever have his career flipped upside down.
And then as he goes down, you see that knee go.
One wrong step and RG3's knee snapped, ending his superstar trajectory from league MVP
That
to
was it,
limping
man.
to oblivion. He never got a chance to see his greatness.
Damn.
And it was the same for Drew Bledsoe, because one brutal hit changed the entire course of
Oh my God,
NFL
that sucks for Drew Bledsoe.
history. See, back in 2001,
Imagine
Drew
that.
Bledsoe was the highest paid quarterback in the
Imagine
league,
that.
and the Patriots were banking on him to build a dynasty. But when he
Get
ran
injured
for a
and
first
Tom
down
Brady
against the
takes
Jets, his future collapsed.
Oh my!
And guess who comes in?
This is more critical than the first down.
Drew got lit up so hard, he ended up with a ruptured blood vessel in his chest and began bleeding from his insides.
Oh
And
my God.
doctors were saying he was lucky to even be alive. But
Damn.
maybe that hit was destiny, because it paved the way for a sixth-round pick who was a complete nobody at the time. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
really?
right.
That's
Tom
crazy.
Brady stepped in,
How does that
led
look
New
like
England to
that's-
their first Super Bowl victory, and went on to become a six-time
It's like
champ.
destiny.
All while Bledsoe had to
It's
sit
destiny.
there and watch what could have been his legacy get stolen by the GOAT.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
injuries can be straight up ruthless, just like what happened to Sterling Sharp at number 8. Now, we all
Sterling
know about the
Sharp.
TV personality and
Oh.
NFL Hall of Famer Shannon Sharp. But what if I told you he had a
There's
brother
another
who was
Sharp.
even better? See, back in the day, Sterling Sharp was unstoppable.
Sterling
So by his
Sharp.
9th season, he'd racked up some of the craziest wide receiver stats ever.
Let's
And
see.
while he was
What's his
dominating the
stats?
league, little bro Shannon was out there trying to fill those big
See, what's his
shoes.
stats?
Yeah,
His
the Sharp
stats.
brothers were on pace to become the first ever siblings
they're
inducted
Sharp
into the Hall of
brothers?
Fame. That was until a routine block changed everything.
Like Favre would be sacked. Sterling Sharp is down.
And you see
Damn.
him there taking on the defensive back, and boy, he took it right on the numbers.
Took it
Now,
right to
it
the
looked like
face.
Sterling barely got touched, but that would be the last play of his career. Turns out he had a herniated disc in his neck that was
Oh my
messing with his nerves so bad that he started losing strength in his arm fast. And the doctors told him straight up that if he played again, he was risking himself for paralysis. So Sterling had no choice but to hang up his cleats far too soon. Now,
got me
Shannon knew
fucked
he had to
up.
make sure
That's
his brother's
crazy.
impact on the game was remembered forever. So when Uncle Shay Shay reached the Hall of Fame, he made it clear that there was someone greater than him.
My big brother Sterling. I'm the
Oh,
only
so
pro
that was his brother. Oh shit, that's crazy. Damn. Damn.
football player that's in the Hall of Fame. And I'm the second best player in my own family.
I didn't know that.
The 44 men and women that I thanked and
That is
congratulated early for giving me and bestowing this prestigious honors upon me. All I do is ask. All I can do is ask in the most humblest way I know how. Is that the next time you go into that room or you start making a list, look at Sterling Sharp's accomplishments,
He's pretty
the
good.
7-year period, of the guys that's in the Hall of Fame at
See
the
what he
receiver
did.
position and the guys that have the potential to be in this building. That's all I ask. I don't say, hey, just do that. The next time you go in that room,
What's his
think about
numbers?
Sterling
What's
Sharp's
his
numbers for 7 years. That's all I ask.
Damn, Shannon really went out there and broke a leg in that speech. But at number 7, Terrell Owens literally broke his leg.
T.O.
Because we gotta talk about how his injury changed the league for
T.O.
good. See, back in 2004, T.O. was unstoppable until
was
one
a dog.
brutal horse-collar tackle turned
he's
his
still a
leg
dog.
into a knot.
Only one catch until this. Sprained right ankle,
Oh,
x-rays negative.
Yeah, this dude's leg got twisted so bad, he ended up with a broken leg, a sprained ankle, and 2 torn ligaments. His season was supposed to be over, or so we thought. Because even though T.O. went through through his worst injury yet, the Philadelphia Eagles went all the way to the Super Bowl. So
Dang,
T.O. put himself through the
him?
most rigorous recovery program ever and decided that he would play on one leg. Not even the doctor
Ain't no fucking way he did that.
to perform this surgery cleared him to play.
My doctor that performed the surgery, he didn't even medically clear me to play in the game. I had to sign a waiver to play in the Super Bowl.
How did you do that?
Yeah, exactly. It would have been a liability.
And in
that's
Super Bowl
funny.
39, T.O. limped his way onto the field and absolutely balled out.
And the pass is complete.
Bro, paid on
to
one
that
leg.
man, Owens. Quick throw, Terrell Owens.
Basically
he has
two
2
legs.
catches already. And so
One
much
leg's
for him
basically
being a
still
decoy.
broken. You just got that shit repaired.
Owens, open space.
To be a motherfucker, somebody went for the leg.
Harrison chasing and out of bounds inside the 20, and a late flag comes in.
I mean, the Eagles lost, but Terrell's
they
9
lost.
catches
Damn, that's
for 122 yards was one of the most courageous things ever done in NFL history.
And now T.O. and Donovan McNabb got beef.
The league saw T.O. putting his leg on the line and said, yeah, we gotta change this. So before the 2005 season, they straight up banned the horse collar tackle forever. The NFL changed things real quick, unlike the stadium at number 6. See, MetLife Stadium is a place where careers go to die. I'm talking torn ACLs, busted ankles, sprained knees, you name it. Just like
How did that happen?
careers go to die. I'm talking torn ACLs, busted ankles,
Bro,
sprained
just got
knees,
a
you
torn
name it.
ACL
Just like in
that.
2020, after
How?
the San Francisco 49ers lost 3 other players to torn ACLs. And the most devastating of them all was Nick Bosa, who had his
Nick
season
Bosa.
cut short in the blink of an eye.
On this inside run by the Jets, Nick Bosa, the reigning defensive rookie of the year, was rolled
his
up on.
knee,
It
his
looks
knee.
like maybe his knee shifted in an awkward way.
It was like the turf was littered with landmines. And throughout
That
the
turf
years,
sucks.
MetLife kept claiming ACLs, so they had to fix the problem. And in 2023, they
Oh, they
finally
changed it?
replaced the turf. But guess what? It's still causing injuries. It's like
Oh,
they
no,
swapped out one haunted field for another. But the turf wasn't done making headlines just
Probably
yet.
not even
Because in
fake, it's probably
2023,
fake
the
grass.
Jets traded Aaron Rodgers to be their savior.
grass.
But Rodgers wasn't believing all the scary stories. But in week 1 of the 2023 season, he found out real quick. Because just 4
Aaron
snaps in
Rodgers sucks. And I don't get why everybody's waiting on him and like acting like he's like so
was Jets'
good.
debut.
Bro's 20
Rodgers
years old.
dropped back the pass when his left foot got shredded.
Now Rodgers sits down.
Take a look here at the very
First
end.
play of him about to pass.
Hard to see.
Just
Torn
like that,
ACL.
the dude who was supposed to bring a Super Bowl to New York was done for the season. I mean, when a 4-time
Yikes.
MVP can't even survive a single game on your field, you know something's seriously wrong. But there's one player who has suffered the most mind-bending knee injuries ever. Look, Chubb is one of the greatest NFL talents
Nick
at running back
Chubb.
in the past decade.
Oof.
But if he has another nightmare, he may never play football again.
I haven't seen
Because
him in a
Chubb's
while.
horrors started back in
Only had a couple
college, when
games
one
last
step
year.
left the nation scared.
This is not a promising start. And this
Oh no way that happened.
Nation scared.
Damn.
is not a promising start.
Damn. His whole leg bended forward.
And Nick Chubb
Dude,
is still
don't even look,
down.
bro.
This dude
Don't
torn
even
3
look.
ligaments in his knee, enough for anyone to call quits. But then Chubb came back as one of the top backs in the country, and in 2017 was drafted in the 2nd round to the Browns. Now Chubb quickly became a top
crazy.
rusher in the league, and in 2023 he was headed for the end zone when his knee got cranked like a door hinge.
Again?
Trying to pick his way inside the 5, and he does.
Hey, hold up.
And
He's
the
like, nah. He's like, hold up.
last thing any Browns fan wants to see, Nick Chubb holding his
It's the
left
knee.
leg.
I'm pretty sure it's the
boy.
knee
I
injury.
mean, Chubb's injury was so violent, they couldn't even show the replay. But some injuries in the NFL get even more dangerous.
Damn.
See, Joe Theismann suffered one of the most
Dude,
gruesome
Joe
injuries
Theismann's
in NFL
That-
history. Now, Theismann was a Super Bowl winning quarterback and one of the faces of the
injury was
league.
crazy.
So when he took the field for a Monday Night Football game in 1985 against the ruthless Lawrence Taylor, the whole nation was tuned in. So when the Redskins attempted a flea flick, it gave LT just enough time to hit Theismann where he never saw it coming.
That's crazy.
And beckoned over to the Redskins bench. Get your medical
Bro,
team in
ruined
here
his
quick.
whole Career.
The injury was
Well, he didn't ruin it,
devastating,
but-
but even the greatest athlete ever couldn't make it through without danger at number 3. Because imagine a player so athletic that
Go. Bo
he
knows.
was an all-star in 2 sports. See, in 1985, he won the Heisman Trophy. And when he wasn't on the football field, he was
He
an
was playing
All-American
baseball.
slugger in baseball. Then he went and ran the fastest 40-yard dash ever recorded.
Is it true you ran a 4.12?
Can you believe it?
4.13.
This dude was so nice
4-1-3
that in 1986, he was drafted #1 overall to the Kansas City Royals in baseball. But after some contract drama with Tampa Bay, Bo ended up with the Los Angeles Raiders, making plays never seen before on the diamond.
Bo won the charge. Bo is there.
What? Like, how does he do that?
Charge. Bo is there.
Bo was so dominant, this dude had one of the most iconic Nike commercials of all time. And with Jackson's superhuman ability, he wasn't thinking twice about getting injured. The world was witnessing something special. And during the 1991 playoffs against the Bengals, everybody had their eyes on Bo. But no one knew that this moment would end up robbing us of that greatness. Because one awkward step altered history.
Apparently, Bo Jackson's shaken up a bit.
Nobody saw it coming, but Bo's football career ended right there. Because he dislocated his hip so badly, it cut off the blood supply in his hip joint. And just like that, the greatest athlete ever became one of the biggest what-ifs in sports history. But at number 2, we have another two-way sports star on our list. See, Deion Sanders was another athletic freak. The way he split his time between the diamond and the gridiron eventually caught up to him. And his injury history became deadly. Look, Deion is the only player ever to play in the World Series and a Super Bowl. And with all that...
Wait, he played in a World Series and a Super Bowl? No way.
Became deadly. Look, Deion is the only
not that old, so I don't
player
know.
ever to play in the World Series and a Super Bowl. And with all that mileage on his feet, Deion retired with the ugliest toes ever. We're talking about hammer toes that were barely holding on.
It's the closest thing they call to turf toe. And it was just horrendous. I mean, I've never felt anything like it. So they had to shave it down and straighten it out, and that's what I got.
Now fast forward to when Deion became a coach. This man was still hobbling around, dealing with that same foot problem since his playing days. But then one day, the pain became unbearable.
Lauren was changing my bandages.
You should just roll, like, not roll, but like, put your fucking foot somewhere.
Daily on my foot. And she said, Coach,
fuck that bullshit.
Your toes are black.
It was a little discolored this morning, and upon going to the hospital, we found out some really severe things.
Safe to say he's going to be with us for a few days. He's going to have a procedure done a little later today. He has actually a blood clot, not in a vein, but it's located in the artery. So a blood clot in an artery, you can lose your leg.
And once Deion got to the hospital, he found out he had a severe blood clot. Now this was hard to hear. The noose was going to get even worse.
Not 1, but 3, I believe, that ran from behind the knee, down his whole calf to his ankle. And for people that don't know,
you can get blood clots from just sitting
what
down.
a femoral arterial blood clot is. It is life-threatening.
The news I got from the doctors was this was really serious. They were talking about the amputation of toes. Then they were talking about the amputation of my leg from knee down. Then they were trying to ensure I had life. So we called my mother about the clots. And she informed me that we didn't know that my uncle died from blood clots. My other uncle, who's alive now, almost passed last year from blood clots. And she was diagnosed with blood clots a year ago. So hearing that is something you don't want to hear while you're in the hospital in that state.
Yeah, Deion was lucky to leave with his life, because our final moment is taking danger to the max. See, Tua Tagovailoa has suffered some of the worst head injuries ever seen, but his love for the game won't let him quit. It all started in Week 3 of the 2023 season, when Tua hit his head so hard, he couldn't even stand up straight.
Game right now, Tagovailoa.
Bro.
Awful sight to see.
That looked dangerous, but believe it or not, he still played for the rest of the game. Tua thought it was no big deal, but just weeks later against the Bengals, he suffered something even more horrifying.
Like, why are you even
Now, at this point, NFL fans were scared out of their minds, and there were many calls for Tua to take the year off. Tua wasn't having it, so he finished the season. Now, in 2024, Tua thought he had moved past the worst head injury of his life, but all Tua knows is the game. So in Week 10, Tua made a courageous return and had something to say about it.
Not fun. It wasn't good. You never want to see someone that you love on a field or in a ring, in a cage, or in whatever profession they're in get hurt.
What role did that play? The fact that you're a husband, the fact that you're a father?
It definitely played a role, that's for sure. I had that in the back of my mind. I love the game of football. It's what I've done since I was 4 years old.
Now, Tua might be risking his life, but you gotta respect it when somebody's living their dream.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know, bro. Bro's gotta be careful. 1 million comments, subscribe, 100 1 million. That's crazy.
Bye, have a great time.